What's going on, guys? It's Tom at the Renegade Racing Channel. So we left Boost Addicts this morning with the Renegade S2K Rosie. Project Gap Cleetus is in full effect. So what we've done so far is we've completely gutted this car. The old turbo kits off of it. We've added our TIC Performance air-to-water intercooler, our nitrous outlet, nitrous plate. So we got some things kind of going together with it right now. We put it on a trailer this morning. We took it down to our guys at Top End Fabrication in Georgia. So here's what we got going on. We are putting a massive turbo on this thing. I'm going to show you some video of it here in just a minute, but it is a 102 millimeter Garrett ball bearing turbo. It is ridiculous. All right, so we got that going in right here. They're going to do some fab work to kind of put that in. There's a lot of things that have to happen to make this work. It's going to be very heavy. Dang turbo weighs probably about 100 pounds, but you know, safety's third and tens are slow, so that's what we're going to have to make happen. So we got that going on. They're doing a parachute kit on it, some brake work on it, other things. We're going to get all the fabrication work done. We're scheduled to have this thing back in about a month. So we're looking at about 4 weeks of everything that we got to have done to it. Then we're going to come get it. It's going to go back to Boost Addicts. We're going to wire this thing, do everything else we have to do to it, and then throw this thing on the rollers and see what kind of power it lays down. We're going to be running C16 in this car, doing a lot of things to the rear end of the car to make it hook. We're going to be running a 275/60 Pro radio on the back. This is an IRS car. It's also a V8 LS swapped S2000. So two things right here. The IRS record for the S2000, I believe, is about an 8.1. All right, so if we get this thing into sevens, this will be the IRS world record S2000. Also, LS or V8 swapped S2000 is in the 8s too. So we will have both world records for V8 swapped S2000 and the IRS S2000 records going on with this thing. Not only that, we're going to try and break both of these records simultaneously as we're gapping Cleetus McFarland's ass. So we've got 3 things going on at once. We're going to make this happen at LS Fest. All right. Also, we've got the Civette here as well. So we're doing some narrowing on the rear end. We got a TIC Performance built T56 going into it, along with some other things. DSS hooked us up with a torque tube for this thing. We've also got axles coming for the S2000 straight from DSS. Now this thing is 8.8 swap. It's a floater rear end, so it's still IRS. It's not solid axles. So there's actually a kit on this from X Performance to make all this kind of work. So DSS makes the axles for them. They're going to upgrade our axles to about 2,000 horsepower axles. That way we can really stay together and make the power that we want to. So we got the transmission back in it from Tennessee Transmission, TH400, billet everything. We put a dump valve on this thing. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be running Holly on it, the whole 9 yards. So stay tuned. We're going to be shooting this thing here in about a month. When we get back down here, I'll show you some sneak peeks as we go. Follow me over here. We're going to check out the turbo and everything else we got going on. Got a whole bunch of parts. We got our parachute handle, parachute bracket. We got some billet mounts over here. We got some control arm pieces right here. Parachute. Now here's our bread and butter right here. This is a 102 millimeter T4 GTX Garrett turbo. It is absolutely ridiculous. This thing weighs about 100 pounds. It's huge. So that's going to be powering the car. We got 2 different nitrous bottles. We don't know which one we're going to go with yet. We're kind of limited on space in this car. So we're either going to go small bottle, big bottle, 5 or 10. We don't know yet. We're going to make that happen. We got the rest of our nitrous stuff in here. We still got to put all this together. So we're on the right page of going with things. So stay tuned. In 1 month, we'll be back down here. I'll shoot a couple pictures beforehand just to show you where we're at. Let's do a quick walk around of the car real quick. Well, we got the drag pack on it. We're gonna go to a different size tire in the back. So we got a 275/50 on it right now. We're gonna go to a 60. But we got our 17s on the front. And MacFab Performance bead locked our rear wheels for us, so went ahead and took care of that. As you see, the car's still in primer right now, so we've got some big things going on with that. We know that we're going to be doing a lot of work to the car, so we don't want to get scratches in it and stuff of that thing. But my buddy Jared at Rod Shop in Ashland City, he's the one that kind of did all the body work to it and made this thing sharp. He also put a new top on it as well, because the old one was ragged out and falling apart. So once we get through with the car, we're gonna do a couple test hits, kind of get everything where we need it to be at, etc. I'm gonna bring the car back to him before LS Fest. It's a secret. We're not gonna tell you what color it's gonna be, but this thing is absolutely gonna draw all the attention in the world. So stay tuned for that. He's gonna make it happen. Let's run up front real quick. We're gonna check the Civette out, see what's going on with it. So the biggest things with it, like I said, Tick Performance hooked us up with a T56 on this thing. It's face plated the whole 9 yards, so it is absolutely ridiculous. We're going back together with it as we speak. But the biggest thing that we saw at Texas 2K is this thing, we were just laying the tire in the fenders. Now, we really didn't know how it was going to perform because this is a hand-built car. We just put it together. So we really needed to do some testing and didn't do any of that. So now that we know what it's doing, the problems that we were having with the car, we're going ahead and narrowing this rear end. So everything's torn apart right now. As you see, the knuckles are out here on the table. We're going to get the tire to sit in about this flush. So if you look to the front of the car, everything lines up instead of the rear wheels sticking out now. So we'll be able to make this thing dip down, hook, the whole 9 yards. So the way we're going to be doing that is we're actually making control arms for it. All right, to narrow this thing in, we got to send our axles back next door to Hudlow. He's going to take care of these things. So once we get it narrowed, we'll get them all measured out and put it together. So this thing is going to be absolutely retarded. Come around here to the front. We got a scooter down here on the seats. While we were here, we wanted to go ahead and get a couple more things coated. If you look down in here, we went ahead and had our headers on this thing coated black to go ahead and match our turbos. We really just didn't like the way they were changing colors and stuff of that nature. So we went ahead and had those coated just to kind of fill out the engine bay. We want this thing going as pretty as possible. Clifton over at Nitrous Outlet made me some new brackets. All right, they're not on the car yet. We got them inside the office. So once we get this back, we'll have Clifton's brackets on here. They have the Civette logo on it. They're absolutely amazing. As far as the fabrication stuff for this car, Nitrous Outlet, Clifton did everything from the panel inside. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. It says Nitrous Outlet and Civette on it. Talk about one-off stuff. So he's taking care of that, and we got everything engine-wise kind of back together with it. So now it's just kind of going back to the back on it, redoing the rear end, working things out there, and then we'll be back on the road. So we're looking at about having this one done middle of July. So that we can probably, we're shooting to go to MITM, meet in the middle with this thing. We're not sure if we're going to be able to make it happen, but we're really pushing really hard. So stay tuned for that. I'll give you an update when we're back down here next month. July 1st, I should be coming to pick up the Renegade S2000, and then we'll go from there. Stay tuned. Check me out. Safety's third, and 10s are slow. Renegade out.